What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Um, as you guys know from the title of this video, I just wanted to do this video because it's a bit different than my normal videos. I really want to ask for help for Derek, who created the Gematria calculator. Um, so basically, we're gonna make some connections. We're gonna do some Gematria in this video, but I first wanted to really highlight um, what happened in Milwaukee. And now Derek, the guy who created this calculator, guys, Gematrinator, which I use and which Derek allows me to use every month. And Derek has helped me. The computer I'm using right now, Derek helped me to get because I was short on unable to get myself a new one. And so now the least I can do is help Derek out in his time of need. So everyone, basically, the gist of this is Milwaukee, Wisconsin suffered historic flooding on August 8th through August 10th, somewhere in there. And Derek, who created the Gematria calculator, again, a good friend of this community, guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without him, without his calculator, his tools that he created. So this hits close to home, guys. So please, the gist of this decode is to promote his sister-in-law. Let me just read what she wrote here. My brother-in-law's home in West Allis and car were flooded by torrential rains in Milwaukee area on August 9, 2025. The water reached 3 feet up the side of his house and broke a basement egress window and flooded to the basement ceiling and almost to the first floor. A section of the foundation gave way and the house is unsafe to inhabit. The furnace, the water heater, the washer, the dryer, the car, all a total loss. The house may well be also. Him and his 3 cats are currently displaced. Insurance has told him they will not cover the flood damage. So I just wanted to bring up some pictures of the flood of Derek's house to show you guys just how bad it got there. You can see it's almost all the way up to the cars. And just complete loss. The foundation's destroyed. You guys can see what happened there. And so his sister-in-law put this GoFundMe together for him, supportive. So if you guys, I'll leave the link for this in the comments, the top post, so you guys can go help out. Please, guys, if you have any extra cash, even a $5 or $10 here and there, to help him out, okay? Help him get back on his feet. Again, this guy is the guy that enables this community to do a lot of what it does. He created the Gematria calculator. And, again, this calculator that I'm using, all the tools that it has, all the amazing features, and he's even creating more features in the coming months. Please, if you guys can, support him. And what's crazy about this, guys, is that Derek had just done a video a few days ago. Here's his video from 4 days ago, and he talked about the Texas floods. Now, this connected because you guys know that Stevie Ray Vaughan is famous, the guy from Texas. He's famous for the Texas flood, right? But he also died in Wisconsin, of course, where Milwaukee is. And so, guys, this is all weather manipulation. But this is also organic, guys. Stuff in this world is not all just done by the elites. But I mean, obviously, there's huge organic codes running through this. So Derek, being from Milwaukee, having just talked about the Texas floods on his last video and how it connected to Milwaukee. And see right here, he said Stevie Ray Vaughan died in a helicopter crash in Wisconsin. The Brewers, the baseball team from Wisconsin, they just got a player named Greg Vaughn last month who started being their star player. And we're talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan, the Texas floods. Make sure you guys go check out his video so you guys can see that he just talked about flooding, and now he gets flooded in Milwaukee, and he had just talked about that. Now, what I want to point out in this video also to go along with this, so let me just lay this out. First of all, we had Stevie Ray Vaughan, Texas flood. We had the Texas flooding last month on the 4th of July. Now, the 4th of July is connected to Sopdet, or the dog star Sirius, all right? And last month when the Texas floods happened, I did a video immediately, and I connected it to the flooding of the Nile when the river floods because of the star Sirius. We are currently, the Heliacal rising used to be it used to be in July, but nowadays it's more in August. But the Heliacal rising of Sirius is all about the flooding of the rivers and the inundation. And the goddess that's associated with that is Sopdet, all right? And it's all about flooding, and this is what was connected to the Texas floods. But when this flood happened in Milwaukee this last couple days, this was during the actual Heliacal rising. The Heliacal rising is usually from August 8th to about August 12th. And in this time is when the flooding happened here in Milwaukee. So this is definitely connected right back to the star Sirius, the flooding rituals, connecting back to last month's Texas flood. And that's the reason that Stevie Ray Vaughan died in Wisconsin, was born in Texas, died in Wisconsin. Well, now you have these floods in Texas and then Wisconsin a month later. And the new player that just the guy with the same last name as Stevie Ray Vaughan, who's now playing for Milwaukee. Well, his name is Vaughn, and he used to play for the Bears. You can see him right here in the California Bears jersey. And this is where we're going to start talking a bit about another thing that happened in the last couple days that ties into this. We had the death of the Bad News Bears actor Louis Starr, okay? Jeffrey Louis Starr of the Bad News Bears, which is a baseball, okay? It's a baseball movie. Let me just bring it up. The Bad News Bears. So this is the movie that this actor that just died he died in July, but the news didn't break about his death until just last few days during the Milwaukee floods. And this guy's name is Jeffrey Louis Starr, okay? And this referencing again the dog Star. His news is in the news. His death is in the news during the Heliacal rising of the dog Star. And he's known. He died at 61. There's so much I could say here, but I'm gonna go into the decode in a minute. But I just wanted to lay the foundation of how all this connects. And the Bad News Bears actually have a connection to Milwaukee because the famous line from the Bad News Bears, Astro fans will recognize that Bob Watson, who famously bellowed "Let them play," which became famous for the Bad News Bears and the Astros, was also used in Milwaukee 25 years later during the All-Star game. And All-Star, the dog star, so this all connects, guys. The Bad News Bears, the Milwaukee floods. You get bad news, the flooding. Derek from Gematria, he gets the bad news about his basement flooding. It's all connected, guys. So, and it's all connected to the baseball. Remember, the baseball is, the Vaughn guy who's playing for Milwaukee, he used to play for the Bears in California. So this guy is clearly connected. I didn't dive any deeper into his connection to the death of this actor, but I'm going to show you, and I think just in tribute to Derek from Gematria in this decode, I'm going to make some connections that I think he would be find very interesting. So let me just run through this real fast with this Jeffrey Louis Starr, again, the dog star. But yeah, let's run through this, and we'll talk quickly about what I think this is all tied to. So Jeffrey Louis Starr dies at 61, and he was famous for playing in the movie The Bad News Bears in Breaking Training. That's the official title of this movie, right here. Well, what is the chance, guys, that in Derek's favorite cipher, the Gematria, the guy who I'm just talking about, his home's flooded this weekend, his favorite cipher, and what he considers the most important cipher, is the Latin/Jewish Gematria cipher. And it's so hard to get matches in this cipher. But what are the chances that in this cipher the guy's full name who just died equals the name of the movie he starred in, and look how different of a his name literally equals the same, guys. This is wild. Um, so again, big shout out to Derek for bringing this information out, for having this cipher come to the public view, and again, this proves that he has legitimacy in this cipher. So Jeffrey Lewis Star equals the Bad News Bears in breaking training. I mean, just wow. Now, what's more important, and what Derek has talked about so many times on his channel, is the eclipse codes and the eclipses, right? Remember the two great American eclipses, the one in 2017 and the one last year in 2024. They made an X over the United States. In fact, they made an X directly over Carbondale. Carbondale, Illinois is famously known as the Eclipse Crossroads of America because it was located near the intersection of point of two paths of totality of the 2017 and 2024 total solar eclipses. So basically, right in the center of these two eclipses is Carbondale, Illinois. And Illinois is just, of course, south in Chicago, is just south of Milwaukee. So you have this, it's not so far off, guys, from this Milwaukee stuff. But yeah, Carbondale is the center. And where did this Jeffrey Lewis Star actor die? Well, he just happened to die in the exact city that was at the center point of the two great American eclipses. He died in Carbondale, Illinois on July 25th. Again, his death was in the news during the Halaico Rising on August 8th, August 9th, August 10th. It was in the news. But he died actually 2 weeks earlier. So again, why did they wait so long to put it in the news? It's for a specific reason. Now, not only did he die at the intersection of these eclipses in Carbondale, he died on the 206th day of the year, July 25th. And the word carbon equals 206. The word sacrifice equals 206. And Carbondale equals 206. So this guy died in Carbondale on the 206th day of the year, when Carbondale equals 206, like sacrifice in the same cipher. Okay? And carbon in the standard Gematria cipher has that 206. So what is the chances? Again, like, he dies in Carbondale, 206th day of the year. That's the number associated with sacrifice and Carbondale. And so ultimately, it's important to go from the eclipse, the X eclipse of where the X was formed over Carbondale on April 8th, 2024, to the death of this guy in Carbondale. It was 1 year, 3 months, and 18 days. Guys, this is the Revelation 13:18, where it talks about the number of the beast being a man and being 666. Well, the eclipse has a connection to the 666 in general, but carbon 12 is the element that equals 666, and it's the element that has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. And if you measure, once again, from the eclipse in Carbondale to the death of this guy in Carbondale, it's 1318, which points us to the book of Revelation, where it talks about the number of a man being 666, and the human body, the man, is made of carbon 12, which equals 666, which has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. This is undeniable, okay? Carbon, he dies in the number of the man, carbon, okay? That's what the number of the beast is. It's the number of the man, the body made out of carbon, supposedly, with the 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. And what's the chances that carbon 12 is what they call this, equals 666? And then from the death of him from the eclipse to his death is the very verse that Revelation 13:18, which calculates this number. So again, it's so obvious that this is clearly connected to this carbon 12 carbon. And not only that, but if you measure in days from the Carbondale eclipse to the death of this guy in Carbondale, it's 474 days. And in Gematria, the prime cipher, eclipse ritual equals 474. So that's just another add-on. But here's the big one. In Gematria, Total solar eclipse equals 257. This guy, Jeffrey Lewis Starr, died in the Carbondale where the eclipses crossed on 25/7, the 25th of July. And he died exactly 2507 weeks after his movie came out, no extra days, and exactly 257 days before the anniversary of the X eclipse in Carbondale, which is the city he died in. And he died on 257, and total solar eclipse equals 257. So this brings it all together, guys. I mean, just how wild is that? That he died 2507 weeks after this movie, which his name equals the movie. Remember, Jeffrey Lewis Starr equals the Bad News Bears in Breaking Training. And he just happens to die 2507 weeks after on 257, which is 257 days before the total solar eclipse anniversary, which is the Gematria of 257. So again, guys, that's my short decode, and there's probably way more, but I wanted to mainly focus. And how can I make all these connections, guys? How was I able to do all this? It was because of this calculator, okay? The Gematrinator calculator, and the guy who made it is currently underwater in his house, and he needs help. So if you guys are able and willing to help, please do so. Again, I will leave the link in the comments of this video, okay? So please go help our dear friend Derek, help him get back on his feet, help him continue to put out this calculator, and that helps us all make our connections and expose the stuff that's going on. But before we get into that, remember, before we end the video, I just want to show one more connection just to make sure that you guys know it's all connected with the number 83. Remember, I told you that this is all connected to Stevie Ray Vaughan, who was born in Texas and died in Wisconsin. We had the Texas flood. Now we have the Wisconsin flood. Stevie Ray Vaughan is also connected to the player who's on the Milwaukee baseball team right now, who's connected to the Bears, which connects us back to the death of this guy who was the bear, right? But anyway, all this stuff equals 83. Sopdet equals 83. Now, this goes back to Sirius, who I already made the connection. This happened during the heliacal rising of Sirius. And Sopdet is the ancient Egyptian name for the star Sirius. Sopdet equals 83 like flood. Remember, Sopdet is known to be associated with the flood, Sirius. Remember, last month in Texas, the Guadalupe River flooded in the Lone Star State, and that equals 83, Guadalupe River and Lone Star State. And I think there's more 83s. But look at the gematria of the death of this actor who just died, right around the same time of the Milwaukee flood. His death was in the news during the Milwaukee flood. Jeffrey Lewis Starr equals 83 in the same cipher as Milwaukee flooding. And then Stevie Ray Vaughan also equals 83. So again, I think that it's pretty obvious here that all this is connected. And this 83 is also connected to Enlil, which is the god of flood and storms in Babylonian. That's also got the 83. And if you guys go back a month ago, you'll see I had way more 83s with the Texas floods. But the point is, all of this is so connected and organically connected to the heliacal rising of Sirius. And unfortunately, the bad news is, no pun intended, but the bad news is that our friend Derek got flooded out. So again, guys, this is my last pitch, but please, I'll leave the link in the description of this video if you guys want to support Derek. Again, I wouldn't be where I am without him, and most of us would not also, all of us decoders. So please support if you can, and thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like button to get this video out to more people so more people can see Derek and help him. That's what this video is about. And if you guys enjoyed the video, also hit the like and subscribe. Go subscribe to Derek and all the other great decoders. And we'll see you guys very soon in the next video. Take care.